Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K. I hope you're having a great day. It is Wednesday. It is our Friday. We can all rest our brains and things like that after today. Well, not for me necessarily, because I have to be on the African Diaspora News Channel tomorrow at 11 a.m. So we can have another conversation. But nevertheless, the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. I'd like to say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Also, thank you to my wonderful moderators for all that you do in holding down the comment section. It is much appreciated. Today, we're going to be talking about the Democrats being slammed by Chicago Flips Red for crashing out continuously, right, for illegal immigrants, rather, and just basically the benign neglect of the Black community, especially there in Chicago. So I'm going to show y'all a video of Sister Danny C. She was at a Senate hearing today, along with that of Zoe Lee, rather. And so Sister Danny spoke. I just happened to be watching the news when it came on. I said, oh, okay, that's interesting. So I recorded it. And so I'm going to show it to you. She spoke for over 6 minutes, but of course, y'all know how I do. I sped it up so that it reduce the time, but you can still hear all that she is saying. And then, of course, we'll get into, I guess, the situation in North Carolina where ICE has really turned up the heat. So it's getting really wild and loose there, for lack of better words. So let's see who is here while we give everybody a moment to come on. Albie Chill, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Brother Don, my triple OG moderator, hope that you're doing well. African Native, what is going on with you? Hope you're doing well. And I think I saw you earlier as well, because y'all know I was on African Diaspora News Channel earlier. Doug, hope you're having a great day. Let's see. Brother James, I just knew you was going to show up. Says good evening, Sister Demetra. And yes, I see that you got the hearing as well. And yes, she does destroy the Democrats and the fire on to the highest. He says, why won't the Boulets and Shields question her? They know better. They're not going to have Sister Danny C on it. They're not going to have her on there. I don't know if she's ever been on Rolling or anything like that, but if she hasn't, I understand why. Because she ain't the one to play with, right? She's not going to be on there letting him just steamroll her with all that screaming and hollering and stuff, because she's telling the truth, right? So what would he, these Shields and Boulets say to her? You lying? Oh, you trying to harm the Democrat Party? Is like, well, you point out if I'm lying, like show me where I'm lying, then we can have a conversation about that, right? So yeah, they're not gonna do that. Troy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Kevin, what's going on with you? Mike, nice to see you again. And same here, Sister Sunlight. Hope you're doing well. And let's see, and I know I probably said your name wrong, but y'all names are still kind of squashed together for some reason. He says, this is one of my favorite YouTube channels. Well, I am so happy to hear that, and I'm so glad that you are here. One who cares, how you doing? Arneba, Sister Shirley. Let's see, Del Monte Green Beans in the building. Who else? Diane and Alchemetics, what's going on with you? And JJ. And I think that's, and my aunt, how you doing? So I'll get to everybody else as soon as I'm done. And I'll try to do a better job at like keeping up with the comments, because I know sometimes a lot of y'all have already made a comment and I'm just like, and by the time I get to y'all comment, it's like 20 minutes later. So I'm going to try to do my best not to belabor too much in doing all that. Renz, how you doing? So, all right, for the sake of time, let's go ahead and get into it. So as you guys may or may not know, we still got a lot going on in this country, especially in regards to ICE. The Trump administration, of course, when they got into office, along with Tom Homan as border czar, that's what they call him, said that they were going to be conducting a mass deportation all over the country, because it's supposed to be a juxtaposition as to what the Biden administration did. Of course, it was mass immigration when he was in office. And so Trump and them are like, okay, we're going to undo that. Now, unfortunately, we've seen some very austere things go on in regards to the ICE and all of that. But nevertheless, the Trump administration is like, we're going full speed ahead, with ICE and all of that. Well, of course, we know that in Chicago, especially when Biden was in office and under Mayor Brandon Johnson, who is still the mayor there, and Governor J.B. Pritzker, they, still to this moment, just championing for the illegal immigrants there. Of course, we know that Chicago was, from what I understand, over $1 billion in debt due to the money and things that they have spent on the illegal immigrants. While neglecting, especially not just all Chicagoans, but since we're here, Black Chicagoans, right? They moved those immigrants into the South Side of Chicago and abandoned schools and things like that. While out of one side of their mouth telling the Black Chicagoans, okay, well, we're gonna try to woulda, coulda, shoulda did this, but then as soon as the immigrants show up, they lickety split, right? They get everything taken care of, and they get this, that, and the other. And even to the tune of, and Sister Danny, she'll explain all that, but it's costing Black Chicagoans, and I guess all Chicagoans more than they want to pay via property taxes and a whole host of other things. Well, she was invited to the Senate Judiciary Committee, and they were holding a meeting on what they call the radical left crusade against immigration enforcement. That's what they titled this meeting. Now, the Democrats did speak for a moment, but then once they were done, they got up and just left, right? All of them just got up and left. They're like, we're not going to hear it. Their stance was more or less like, it's wrong. What's going on with the immigrants and how they're doing it, this, that, and the other. Just really championing for the immigrants. I should say illegal immigrants, because there are immigrants here that are legal. So I just need to keep saying that. But nevertheless, Danny C, along with other people, had a chance to speak. And this is Sister Danny C. Again, it's a little sped up because it was over 6 minutes long, but I had to speed it up just a little bit. So here we go.
My name is Danielle Carter Walters, Vice President of Chicago Flips Red. Thank you to President Donald J. Trump for giving regular citizens like me the courage to speak up. And thank you to this subcommittee for letting me share what is really happening in our city. Chicago Flips Red support the work the president is doing, and we fight for people of Chicago every day. We have also been targeted for doing what's right. Our founder, Zoe, and our advisor, Jessica Jackson, were attacked after speaking out about stolen property in poor neighborhoods. And I recently faced pushback in Cook County Court for trying to protect my community. Even with all of this, we stand with the men and women of ICE, officers who risk their lives daily. These officers get no help from Governor Pritzker or Mayor Brandon Johnson. ICE has found dangerous criminals in Chicago, violent felons, child traffickers, drug smugglers, and cartel members, all hiding under sanctuary city protection. ICE has stopped fentanyl shipments, broken up trafficking groups, and removed criminals who were hurting our neighborhoods. This work is especially needed in the Black communities that are still recovering from the crack and the AIDS crisis of 1980s and from the damage caused by the 94 crime bill orchestrated by Jim Crow Joe Biden and put into law by Bill Clinton. But instead of helping ICE, our state and city leaders block them. They refuse to share information, ignore detainers, and even threaten to arrest federal officers for just doing their jobs. Some judges have also joined in. They have made unfair rulings meant to scare ICE agents. One of the worst examples was when a judge ordered Agent Greg Bravino to report to court every day as if he were the criminal. That was not justice. It was political gains backed by the fake news media. While this is happening, Mayor Johnson, Governor Pritzker are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on illegal aliens, while regular Chicagoans struggle. Schools are crowded, crime keep rising, and families can't afford food or rent. Yet our leaders still put illegal aliens first. Over 56,000 illegal aliens are living in Chicago homes, while our veterans and homeless sleep outside. Cartel gangs like MS-13, Trendy Agua now have presence in our city. Fentanyl, guns, and human trafficking are flowing through neighborhoods that used to be filled with working families. ICE tries to stop this, but the judges, the Illinois Attorney General, the Chicago's Teachers Union, certain clergy members, the mayor, and the governor block them every step of the way. This is not compassion. This is failure. This is a betrayal of the people they were elected to protect. Chicago is broke. We're in a $1 billion deficit, overpriced contracts, and shrinking middle class. Mayor Johnson blames the government in Washington, but the truth is simple. Sanctuary policies have brought chaos and corruption to our city. So we, the people of Chicago, we demand this: a federal review of how Illinois blocks ICE from doing their job, a criminal investigation into judges who target ICE officers unfairly, a full check of all the money spent by state and the city on migrant programs, police, Cook County, and federal agencies working together again with ICE, and to the sanctuary city policies that put our safety at risk. Sanctuary should mean safety for Americans. In Chicago, it now means giving up our rights and our security. To every leader still defending these harmful policies, your time of pretending to serve the people is over. We will speak up, we will stand up, and we will not let corruption decide the future of our city. We will take our city and state back because it's for we, the people. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So as you saw there, that was Sister Danny C, and you saw Zoe sitting behind her. as she was delivering that very powerful message on national TV, right? I think it was broadcasted on Fox News. So, millions of people, I'd imagine, had a chance to see that. And it's, Nanny C is not a secret to speaking out, right? They all have. We've seen her on TV and a whole host of things, like she said, Zoli, Jessica Jackson, and I forget the older gentleman's name. His name escapes me, but obviously Brother Tyrone Muhammad. All of them are in Chicago and they've been speaking out against it. But basically, she's saying we need an investigation. We need an investigation into them not allowing ICE to do their job here in Chicago, right? Because at the end of the day, like she said, Black Americans are being harmed more so. Now, I think a lot of us, and I'm just saying collectively, we've kind of gotten off track. Well, I know Brother James hasn't. Now, we kind of gotten off track a little bit because, there's all this Epstein stuff going on, and that's important in certain aspects or whatever. And it sounds like some Democrats were also, I guess, getting money from Epstein. It sounds like Hakeem Jeffries, his campaign, I think 2013, was soliciting campaign funds. And now, mind you, this is after they knew, he had gotten that tap on the wrist for messing with kids, right? But anyway, that's a different situation. But with all that going on, us as Black Americans, our issues are still kind of being pushed to the back or in the closet or under the rug or whatever it is, because there's so much going on. And at the end of the day, the emphasis is still on, especially in regards to the Democrats, illegal immigrants being protected. Now, why is it important to us in relation to the Democrat Party? Because we are the most loyal to them, but they are not loyal to us. And so those are the things that we need to remember when we go to the polls, especially in 2026, that they are still crashing out for illegal immigrants, not immigrants who are here legally, but illegal immigrants that they, are really just like, this is wrong. Instead of saying, hey, okay, you know what? Maybe if we kind of get on the same page, we can come to an understanding. We can say, hey, we don't like how ICE is, doing it, roughing up people and all this other stuff, but they do need to leave, right? Now, deportation is not a new thing. You would think that it is under the Trump administration, that it's new, but it's not. Of course, they called Obama the deporter in chief because they said at one point in time, I don't know if that's still true, but that he deported more illegal immigrants than any modern day president, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a title that they gave him. So again, deportation, mass deportation is not new. Now, the way that they're doing it, yeah, that's probably new. Even though they said that the kids in cages, remember that whole conversation? They had attributed that to Trump when he was in office in 2016, but it actually started under the Obama administration, the kids in cages thing, where they were kind of like in a cage situation. It's not like they had a dog collar on, nothing like that, but that was the term that they gave it. And so to Sister Danny C's point, she's right. There should be an investigation because, at the same time that their city leaders and their, state leaders are crashing out for the immigrants, everybody else, Chicagoans, regardless of what color you are, legal residents, they're being neglected, especially the Black residents, because that's where they put most of the illegal immigrants and told Black Chicagoans, hey, kiss our butt. We don't care that you're mad. I mean, even Mayor Brandon Johnson, he still tries to equate illegal immigration to the plantation. Every once in a while, he'll say, oh, well, my ancestors on the plantation. Oh, just like, slavery and all this other stuff, right? This false equivalencies, trying to, put those two together. They have nothing to do with each other at all. But he's basically saying, well, I'm still not going to do nothing for Black Chicagoans or basically anybody, I guess. But I want to try to tug on your emotion by saying, you remember our ancestors went through the same thing, which they didn't, right? So that's in a way to try to disarm us so we can say, well, I guess since you put it like that, but again, it's not the same thing. So yeah, there needs to be an investigation and they need to let ICE do its job. Again, I don't agree with the job that they're doing with, roughing people up and things like that. And then, like she said, you got 56,000 illegal immigrants with housing while you got all those homeless people, especially veterans and things like that there in Chicago. How is it that illegal immigrants have housing while you have residents, especially veterans, right? They don't have housing. It doesn't make any sense, So as I've always said, and a lot of y'all have said, Brandon Johnson needs to be made a one-term mayor, right? Like Lori Lightfoot. You're out of here, buddy. That's one thing I always say about, MAGA and white folks and other people. They know how to make their people one term. Hey, buddy, you got to go. I don't like what you're doing. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. Okay, we're going to get somebody else in there. See, that's what needs to go on in Chicago. And I don't know, something tells me that Mayor Brandon Johnson probably won't be reelected. Same thing with Eric Adams. He did a bang up job, all the pun intended. When he was mayor, he still is, but he's on his way out of New York, because at first he was on board with all of that crashing out for the illegals, and they didn't want to eat certain foods, so they gave him money to go buy the type of foods that they wanted and things like that. So he's now a one-term mayor. So the same thing needs to happen with Mayor Brandon Johnson. But just for those of y'all don't know what Chicago flips red is, it's basically Chicago's very blue. It's been that way for a long time. Illinois is blue. And so their mission is to flip it red. So basically flip it Republican, because they're like, okay, we're sick of the benign neglect of the Democrat Party, who, kick us in the tailbone at every chance that they get, helping everybody else but the people who put them in office. So I personally hope that they're successful. Not that I'm a Republican or for the Republican Party, but it's a big FU to the Democrat Party, who has been sticking their middle finger up to Black Americans for the last 60 years or so. So anyway, I want to see what you all have to say about that. Let me get into the comments section. And of course, we know that Sister Danny C is a very dynamic, all of them, very dynamic, and very brave. That has to be very hard to do. As she said, they're constantly attacked, because you know how Democrat shills are. Oh, how dare you! Oh my God! But they're doing something that in a sense is uncharted, right? Now there's some Black Republican type things, but I don't think as they've been as vocal as Chicago flips red and unapologetic. So they're doing something that is it takes a lot of guts to do. Especially in the environment that they're in, very blue, atmosphere. So yeah. Let's see. Mr. South Carolina, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Don't believe media. What's going on with you? Marjorie, hope you're having a great day. Brother James says Black Americans here in Chicago not only have to show that we're not playing and we can move the needle in our politics and everyone else will follow. We are the heart of America in Chicago. Yeah, I would say that is true, because, a lot of people are watching y'all, as for inspiration to see what's going to happen. Obviously, we know y'all got a lot going on. There's a lot going on in all the other cities. Of course, Los Angeles is a blue city. We got Karen Bass, the mayor there. She crashing out for the illegal immigrants as well. North Carolina, they got some funky stuff going on too in regards to illegal immigration. It sounds like ICE went in there full speed ahead, going into the Home Depots and the Walmarts, and sounds like they rounded up, I don't know, over 250 people. And they even said that 15, and this is in Charlotte, 15% of their students did not show up to school, because they said, a lot of them probably are children of illegal immigrants, so they just didn't show up to school. They just said that in that particular district, they got like 21,000 students, and 15% of that did not show up. So there's a lot of mass protests going on due to the ICE activity there. Then they said they're going to go to Raleigh, and then they're going to be making their way to New Orleans to conduct, these immigration sweeps. So ICE is not stopping at all. And these protests, they're, really becoming very volatile. So it's going to be very interesting. Let's see. The Monty Green Beans, it says, Danny sees a cutie pie. Yeah, she's a firecracker too. She do not play, right? So that's why I said the Shields ain't finna have her over there. Albie Chill says, Savvy Savs premiered a really, I think he meant good documentary called Remove, which is about gentrification of our people in Boston. Interesting. I like to check that out. Marjorie says, I vote them out. They're not like us. Chicago first. Absolutely cool. Breeze, how you doing? Says, I'm not flipping Republican or Democrat. Well, yeah, I wouldn't do either. I mean, but that's how they feel. And that got to tell you something. Chicago's blue and has been blue for a very long time, but you got a group of people who are saying no more. We want to read rather. See, that's, I think, where people are missing. We'd rather flip it red than to continue being neglected and taken for granted and harmed. than to keep letting the Democrats do that, right? Because that is a harm to Black Americans. You tell Black Americans, no, we ain't got it. We can't do it. We gonna wait and see. Or we gonna have all these studies. And then illegal immigrants show up and it's like, oh, just money for everybody. Oh, not you Blacks. Not y'all. Stay back. It's the money for illegal immigrants. Oh, y'all need a house too? Okay. Well, I know we have this high school, whatever it is, that's been abandoned, and we said we was going to use it for Black, Chicagoans, for the youth and things like that. But bump them. We going to, trick it out into a shelter for y'all. So the fact that they're saying we'd rather flip it red, and we know Republicans don't mean Black people no earthly good, right? But that they'd rather flip it red, that speaks volumes. And I think really people should pay attention to that. Like, damn, how bad are the Democrats, to where they'd rather flip it red? The Democrats don't give a damn about Black people at all. But they'll show up talking about, hey, I need your vote, So, yeah, but I get what you're saying, though. Third grade gamer, how you doing? Says, watch they send out Roland in response. What he gonna do? What Roland gonna do? I don't think Chicago Flip Red will put up a Roland. I think they own to Roland. Roland, like I said, I'll never take nothing from him. He's very smart, but I think he ain't stupid enough to go and trying to run up on Danny seeing him, because I think she got, some razor blades and lemon juice for him. And damn sure ain't gonna be no grandma cookies. Five Rings, how you doing? Says she's smart, bold, and easy on the eyes. Yes, Sister Danny C is very beautiful, and she works out. I don't know if y'all have ever seen her. She does little workout stuff on her TikTok, what she used to. I know she's kind of, fighting against the Democrats there, but boy, she built. I'm like, goals, okay? That's goals. When I say she built, like she really be in the gym type thing, right? So yeah. Brother James says she went in on them, and I like it when she said that Black Americans haven't recovered from AIDS, crack, and the 3 strikes law. She's right. That nowhere in America have Black people, or Black Americans especially, could recover from that. We still got people doing time in prisons due to the 3 strikes laws. I don't think there's anybody, not one, especially Black American in America today, that has not been affected by crack cocaine, whether you've done it yourself, whether you know somebody else who has done it, whatever, right? So everybody has a story in relation to crack cocaine, which we have now understand that to be purposely dropped off into our communities to finish us off in a sense, right? To dilapidate the Black community, and it did. It caused a lot of destruction. It put a ripple in generations of Black Americans that will never recover from, will never get back. And the party that says that they're for Black people, they champion that. They were full speed ahead. Okay, the Republicans, they gonna do their stuff, but the party that's supposed to be for Black Americans, yeah, Joe Biden told Bill Clinton, I don't think those laws are tough enough. Right? And I think he said the same thing to Bush, if I'm not mistaken. And Jiggy Wayne, how you doing? Hope you're doing well this fine afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. Brother James says, guess what? The Democrats don't want to hear that. Nope. Sister Shirley, did I say hi to you? Not hello. He says, oh, it makes me feel good seeing Chicago flip. Yeah, and I think they came pretty close, what I understand, during the 2024 election. So yeah. Albie Chill says, illegals pulling themselves up by our bootstraps, courtesy of the Democrats. There you go. Let's see. Who else haven't I seen? Cynthia, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yes, indeed. Crimson, what's going on with you? Says, vote differently. Chicago did it to themselves. Yeah, I think that's kind of what a revelation is. Like, wow, we did this by voting. And it's not just them, it's everywhere. Every blue city, especially where there's Black Americans, because again, we vote for them more than anybody. Yeah, they vote for the Democrats no matter what. A fish fry, some twerking, whatever it is. It's the name, she reclaiming her time, bad bleach blonde, bad whatever it is. That's the stuff we've been voting for. So you're right. Not just Chicago, but we've all done that to ourselves. But it's time to stop. Right? So yeah. And the Jiki Wayne says, well, Chicago wasn't Chicago founded by a Black man, from what I understand. Yes. Joel, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Marjorie says, Miss Danielle Carter, she cooked. Yep. Sister Shirley says, Danny did your thing at that meeting. I'm so happy to see them fighting the Democrats the way they are doing. Yep. I'm happy to see you too. Rodney, how you doing? Thank you so much. Hope that you're having a great day. Who else? James, how you doing? He says, how you doing, TV wife? I'm doing fine. um, and Joey says, I know she is gorgeous. Yes, Sister Danny C is. She a bad mama jamma. I'm telling you, she be working out too. And I think she married to a police officer. In case y'all wanted to know. James, he says, I want to take you skating. Well, let's go. What you waiting on? Shoot, I got me a pair of skates. I haven't been in a while just because I haven't been in a while, but I really need to go. Cool breeze. Did I say hi to you? If not, hello. It says black mayors in every state selling us out. Yep, proudly. And I think it's just kind of part of the agenda. Like, okay, we're going to help you get in office, but this is what you got to do. You got to neglect Black Americans. Give them the, okay, yes, we're going to think about it. You can give them a study, but don't do too much. Because the study means hope, right? Give them hope, but never change. Vanessa, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Cynthia says, people around the world are definitely agreeing with and rooting for Chicago Flips Red. Yeah, I know that I am. Like I said, I'm not a Republican, but I get the I'd rather have than. I get that. I get that. It's like, you're not going to keep taking me for granted, So I get that. And I'm not mad at it. Because the other part of that is, well, because I don't want to vote for the Republicans, I'm going to just keep voting for the Democrats that keep on thumbing their noses at us. So, it's a blatant rebuke of the Democrat Party. And even it was still with all of that, they don't seem to care. Because I think they're used to us kind of getting mad and then going away like, okay, they're not mad no more. Okay, we can. So they're probably still thinking, okay, they'll be mad, but they'll go away. They always do, right? But nah, Chicago Flips Red look like they in it to win it. James says that's Brandon Johnson and JB's fault. They are the ones who are was going against ICE, talking. He says he has to go through he has to go through them. Yes, says Trump decided to go extreme. There's a cause and effect. Yeah, and I think in some cases though, there's a lot of federal judges are saying, yeah, Trump, y'all can't really do some of the things that you're doing. But yeah, they were both saying that you gotta come through me, right? Say it to my face. That was Brandon Johnson, talking that stuff to Trump. Dear self, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Let me skip down just a tiny bit because I feel like I'm kind of behind. Thank you, Mike, for reminding everybody there's ways to support the channel. Love and appreciate you for that. Cloudness, how you doing? Hope that you are doing well. Jay Legend, what's going on? Bro Goo, what's going on with you? Says you're 100% right, Demetri. They were taking care of them, of those illegals, pampering them up, getting them shelter and getting them the food that they like. But when we have homeless Americans in the streets, yeah, it's like, what did Maxine Waters say when she was talking to the homeless population in Los Angeles? Well, give me your number and we'll call you. You'll call me. Most of people probably don't even have a phone like that. We'll call you. Just say you ain't going to do nothing for them. Just say y'all had these, because I think they were trying to sign up. Somehow it got out that there was a shelter list had opened up or something like that. So a lot of the homeless population there in Los Angeles showed up and it was like, oh, that was wrong. Just give me your number. She had a handful of her keys. Tell me, leave me your number. We going to make sure to get. But immigrants, they don't have to call back. Yara, I hope I said the right. How you doing? Says, good day, beloved sis Demetra. We get lucky twice today. Brother Donovan Sadiq went live early. Okay, I have to check that brother out because I know he has something to say. Y'all, yeah, please make sure that y'all follow Donovan Sadiq. You can find him on YouTube and Facebook under Donovan Sadiq. Delmonte Green Bean says, I'm a combat veteran. It's like pulling teeth to any thing done for us or take forever, but they wanted all those night jumps and etc. Yeah, y'all shouldn't have to want for nothing. You should never hear about a situation where illegal immigrants are getting all the bells and whistles and, homeless veterans are a thing in America. It just doesn't make sense, Thank you. Don't Believe Media for asking people to donate to the show. Love and appreciate you for that. Albert Chill says, what irks me about demon rats, damn, extreme liberal minded folks is how they want us to have all this empathy for others while simultaneously neglecting our needs. That's because that's how we've been acting. Oh, it's so sad. What's going on with everybody else? It's like our building is burning. It's like, well, if our building burns down to go save somebody else's building, so be it. We've been conditioned that way, especially politically. It doesn't matter that my house is burning. I'll take the little 2 drops of water I got from my house and I'll go give it to somebody else's house, put it on their house because they matter more, right? That's what we've been conditioned to believe, that they matter more than us. Of course, that's not true, right? Jacoby, how you doing? Says, I just saw on the news today that some lady got burned on the CTA transportation. I saw something about that. I didn't really get into the story, but I saw the headline. Sometimes when I see headlines like that, I just kind of, for a minute, I abstain from it because I be having so much going on. And believe it or not, and all the stuff y'all see, but, just kind of, creating content and journalism and things like that. You have to see a lot of things. And so sometimes I'm like, that's why I take some time off toward the end of the week just to kind of decompress my brain from seeing a lot of things and having to dig in a lot of things. But I did see that. So I'm sure I'll look into it in a couple of days. Cynthia says, Black Chicago needs to vote all those dirty Democrats out of office ASAP. Yeah, they do. And isn't Jesse Jackson's son trying to run, Jesse Jackson Jr.? Is he trying to run for something again? It's like, didn't you spend some time in jail for stealing? Him and his wife, right? So, but it's just the audacity. Like Maxine Waters said, the audacity of WAP. It's the audacity. Man, you was a whole criminal. You went to jail for stealing. And then you come back and says, well, I think I want to run for office again. I know somebody's going to say Trump did it or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's just the audacity of any criminal. It's like, oh, I'm going to run for office. And the crazy part is, he might get reelected. It's the name, right? Rosalind, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It says it's been starting in Philly, South and West. So what's been starting, like the ice stuff? Is that what it is? Let's see. Miss Sweets, how you doing? Hope that you are doing well this fine evening. Brother James says, Demetra, you're right with us. It's always a study or an excuse, basically, because that's what we've been good with. We getting a study, y'all. Did y'all hear we getting a study? They're going to be studying reparations. That's what we've done. Yeah, they thinking about it, talking about reparations there in Washington. Ooh, I can't wait to see what they come up with. The HR 40 ain't even passed the Senate. It might have gone through the House or got stuck in the House, but it ain't passed the Senate. So when you hear them talk about HR 40, it's just talk. It's a bill for a study. It's not a bill for a check. It's a bill to see if they're allowed to study the need for reparations for Black American descendants of slavery. It's a study. And the study has not made it all the way through Congress, which in turn would still have to be signed by the president. Does Trump look like he's going to sign something like that? I don't know. But nobody's talked about it. All they talk about there, especially in Washington, is the immigrants, all the immigrants. They ain't said nothing about Black Americans specifically. So to hell with them, Let's see. What? James, you said, can you get your kids? Get your kids what? Well, what you want to get your kids? I had to put my fan on. Kelsey, I'll say Kelsey Sellers, I think. It says, how you doing? It says, I'm so proud of our brothers and sisters in Chicago standing on business. Same here. Mike says, the last time I saw Roland in Chicago, he was running from a brother who had questions. Oh, was it Jamal Green? Yeah, it was Jamal Green who ran up on him. Was like, say it to my face, homie. See, it's all fun and games when you on the other side of the screen. You simple Simon, you idiot, you. When somebody see you in public, it's like, I'm sorry, what? Huh? That's how he was looking. How you doing? Hope you do it well. Rosa said slavery wasn't really abolished, just rebranded, mass incarceration. If you know, you know, right? Let's see, Rodney, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Clown says that Savvy Sav documentary was really good. I have to check it out. Where is it? Is it on YouTube? Where can I watch it? Negroes, how you doing? I know you must be working hard. I don't see you much around here no more, but I know you work a lot. Brother James says, Demetra, hell no to the study. The illegals didn't need a study. We voted for he says, hope and for what? I think you're saying. I tell what happened. They spit in our faces and stomped on us. That was the mild part, right? Beverly, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says, don't vote blue no matter who. Nope. Go to the polls with some common sense. Let me skip down just a tiny bit, y'all. Mr. Thomas, how you doing? Says, I'm so proud of our people not voting blue. We have delineated. It's beautiful. Yeah, delineation is needed. It's needed, right? Because everybody else has been eating off of our struggle, the way we vote, and a whole lot of things. But delineation really just kind of means that we're waking up, right? And saying, oh, we should be doing for self, right? We should be concerned with self, not everybody else. That's really all delineation is. It's no hard feelings. At least I don't see it that way. It's not hard feelings toward anybody else. It's just, hey, we got to get on with the business because we've been told to do that for so long now. Is get on with the business of making Black America great, right? So yeah, and you say I'm politically independent. Same. I haven't always been. I was a Democrat before. I ain't gonna lie to kick it. I haven't always been, but I am now. I've been that way for several years now. Cynthia, you say Michigan will definitely be next at the White House. He says the Democrats have totally abandoned, abused, disrespected, and mistreated Flint residents pertaining to our horrific water crisis and serious health issues. Yeah, and it's still that way to this day, right? It's so funny because I had your shirt on one day, and I'll take a picture. But I had your shirt on one day, and I was in Buc-ee's, and I was a white guy. He broke it all down to me. You know, he was like, yeah, they still don't have water. And I know what they say. They're lying and this, that, and the other. I was like, well, do tell. You know, so it's refreshing to know that there are people who know, no matter that Obama win and he drank that water, it's like, oh, it's safe, right? No damn well that was some Evian water or whatever it is, right? But he told people that it was safe, predominantly Black, right, Flint? Told Black people, oh, that's safe. Go ahead. If I can drink it, you can drink it. But so people know that you all are still having an uphill battle just with water. Water, that no matter where you live, you should be able to have good water, drinking, where you can take baths and all that. But that's not the case. And nobody's crashing out about that. They're crashing out about illegal immigrants. So, yeah. JJ, did I say hi to you? You said Jesse Jackson was in prison for a while. Yeah, for stealing, right? Fraud and stealing and all that other stuff. So, yeah. Don't believe media. Thank you for asking everybody to like it. Let me turn my fan off. I know it's annoying, but I was hot. Del Monte Green Bean says some of these stories, you should be a little patient until all the details come out in general. And what stories are you speaking of? Negro says they're just stalling. Cloudness says I'm going to vote against the Dixiecrats on every ballot from now on until they are offering tangibles benefits for FBAs. And that's the way it should be, right? It should be that way. Yeah, we need something for it. Everybody else is getting something for it, and we need something too. Don't get mad. People want to sit on the couch, right? What you mad for? Because I won't get up and vote for nothing anymore? You know? Brother James says Elijah Muhammad, reparation is true justice. Yeah, and as has always been said too in the nation and everywhere else, real freedom is economic justice, right? You can't call yourself free. You ain't got no money. Yeah, that was bars, right? You ain't free if you ain't got no money. You're that because you're enslaved to something, right? Whether it's debt or something. You're begging, oh, can you, would you, could you please? I'm gonna vote this way because I think you're gonna give me something, this, that, and the other. But we have the power to pool our money together. We just don't want to do it. Because we've again been sold that ideas. All you gotta do is just vote just enough. Just vote long enough. Vote strong enough. And surely you'll be successful, you Negroes in America. Well, as Farrakhan also said, you know, especially when he said it, you've been doing this for 30 years, right? At this point, it's 60 something. Been voting the same way for all this time and nothing's changed. Who's the fool? Surely it's got to be us if we continue to vote the same way and nothing's changed. Why do you keep voting the same way, Black Americans? You think like one more time is the magic number? You know, if I just do it one more again. And all that time, hell, I'll be 60 in 6 years. I literally looked in the mirror and said that to myself, like, damn, you're going to be 60 in 6 years. So I'll be 60 in 6 years. In 60 years, we couldn't have made something shake. by now? I don't know. Let's see. Our Negro says, Demetra, all thanks, darling. Miss you too. Yes, I'm busy bee. I know. But you're here now, and that's all that counts. Mr. Thomas says, that's exactly what I mean. Focusing on ourselves. We got to, right? Tahada says, Flint water been messed up since 2012. And they purposely did that. They diverted the water from a good source, from a bad source, into Flint. It was a black man who did that. I don't remember his name, but he was in city government, some manager or something. Whoever it was, he decided to do that. He checked off, give a predominantly black city worse water. Then somebody go to jail, or they was talking about people going to jail because of that. A black man decided that. I know he didn't make the decision all by himself, but he was the face of that. Like, how do you decide I'm going to be all right with? See, I just quit. I'll be like, no, I'm good. But how do you decide I'm going to give my people water that they can't drink, nor can they take a bath or a shower in, that will harm them, right? That will give them sicknesses and diseases. How do you willingly do that? You know? So, yeah. Let's see. Skip it on down. Original Skywalker, how you doing? Is it buffering? Am I buffering? Or is it you? Negroes, you say, why do we have to beg? We don't have to, but we just been conditioned to beg because we don't realize the power that we have. If we weren't powerful, or even if our votes weren't powerful, the Democrats wouldn't be, coming to get our votes every time there's an election. That's the only time they pay attention to us, is when it's time to vote. And now there's no separation of church and state per se, so they can literally go up into the church. Your pastor can say, I'm voting for her or him, and you need to do it too. Before that, they have to say, well, I can't tell you how to vote, but this candidate wants to come and just tell you about their campaign, but you decide, right? But now they could say, I need all my congregation to vote for such and such. They could do that. So we beg because we just think that's what we're supposed to do. We think that that's how we get their attention. But if begging worked, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, wouldn't it have worked? As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, wouldn't it have worked? If somebody in the White House was going to do something for Black people, wouldn't it have worked? By now, I think that it would have. Now we're just wearing out our knee pads. Let's see. Jacoby says these politicians who have dual allegiance to other countries and their hearts will circumvent the Constitution, get the judges to do questionable orders. Borderline Olympus has fallen, the enemy within. I got you. Marjorie, you say, I lived in Flint, Michigan for 6 months in the 90s. Says the water in Beecher is horrible. Flint residents, some of them use water filtration system in their houses. And why? I don't drink sink water. Like back in the Gap when I was a kid, you could drink sink water because they just wasn't doing all that funky stuff to it. And believe it or not, sink water, faucet water, is really the only water that's regulated. The bottled waters, a lot of those water bottles aren't really regulated like that. So I say all that to say, if you won't drink, when I say you, I mean me, I won't drink sink water that's regulated. But I'll drink water bottles that's not really regulated. I don't know. It's sad. Because what are we drinking? But no, I won't drink sink water. I'm scared. Hero the Duke, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Skip down just a tiny bit more. Carr, how you doing? It says, what we should do is vote Pritzker out, vote red for the governor, only blue for the House and Senate, to send a message to the House and Senate delivering for us. You're going to be next. Yeah, and it sounds like J.B. Pritzker might be trying to anyway, run for president in 2028. I guess it's kind of been some rumblings that's maybe what he's gearing up to do. So it remains to be seen, but I agree. Yeah. Changing of the guards, if the ones that's in charge now are not going to do the job, yeah, they gotta go. Ren, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Oh, okay, got you. Del Monte Green Beans says stories in general, yeah, they should be vetted, right? I agree with you on that one. Miss Sweet says, speak on it. No division between church and state. Well, yeah, they said you can do what you want up in them churches. You want to bring politicians in there? Go ahead. In fact, be bold with it. Vote for this person. And no shade to anybody who goes to church, but a lot of the congregation they call them sheep, right? The shepherd is the pastor, the congregation is the sheep. But in a sense, the sheep have become sheeple, and that they're people, but they behave in a bad way like the sheep, right? So the nature of a sheep is they see one sheep like kind of falling over a cliff or whatever it is in theory. Then the rest of them say, well, I'm going to go right with you. Because if I see you doing it, I'm going to do it too. So with that, sheeple don't question. They just do what they're told, right? Especially in church, you're told you don't question the pastor. You question the pastor, a hole might open up, swallow you whole, right? Or the lightning bolt come down on you because you even thinking about question. Oh, we don't question the pastor because pastor always right, and no, he's not. If you've seen some of these videos of these churches, pastors, zip lining in and they riding in Teslas in the riding in Teslas in the congregation. And, I saw one that, on the continent, they be doing a lot up in the churches. But I saw one, and I don't know if it was staged or whatever, but this particular sister, I guess she had some crotch demons. And so she told the pastor in front of the whole congregation, the demon be making me do stuff, right? Put it in my mouth. And all this other stuff. So the pastor, I guess he took the holy water and he sprayed the crotch demon. And she's I don't know. I guess the congregation was like, whoo, crotch demons. I don't know. And then I see one, I can't think of his name, but as a white dude, he takes his coat and then he I guess he waves it at the congregation. That whole congregation just falls all out, it's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what is this? I could imagine being in that church and the crotch demon is, maybe I shouldn't make fun of it because I don't know, maybe there's a crotch demon, but how did it get there, ma'am? How did you get a crotch demon? So I'm saying all that to say, in a lot of these churches, the congregation is like, oh, we're swinging from chandeliers today? Okay. Then we're swinging from chandeliers. Oh, don't pay the mortgage tomorrow? Put it in the pot, like for a seed effect. Okay. What about if I need some money? Well, the benevolence fund is low. We ain't really got nothing in the benevolence fund right now, so come back next month. But I just sold a seed of faith, right? Like my mortgage, and now I'm gonna get put out, or a notice. It's okay. Just have faith. But see, the Bible also tells you to have wisdom, and wisdom would have been like, I don't think so. I just have to just take it up with the Lord from being disobedient. But right now I gotta be obedient to the mortgage company. Hallelujah. Miss Sweet, she said, you seen both videos, so y'all know I ain't lying. I'm not. Now I know y'all be thinking I'm, beyond one, and sometimes I do, but I don't never be lying to you. I did. She was dead serious too. It was almost like it was her. Just it's like, is it a crotch demon or is it gonorrhea? I don't know. Mr. Thomas says, I order my spring water. Spring water is alkaline water. I usually just get it from the store. That's all I drink is spring water. I don't even like distilled water. I can't think of the last time I've drank it. I might have drank purified if like somebody gave it to me. If I was at their house, I'm like, okay. But I drink spring water all the time. Let's see. Brother James says Bill Clinton is betting on Newsom to win in 2028. You know what? I don't know. I just feel like he has a really good shot of winning. If not, definitely to be the Democratic nominee, Governor Newsom of California. I really believe that. unless some other candidate comes up, you know. But I think people really like Governor Newsom. Not that I think he's a great candidate, but I think he was the one that put up his dukes with Trump. You know, he says, all right, everybody else is scared to take you on. I'll do it. So I think a lot of people are liking that, right? He's kind of this hero type thing, but I think it's very possible. Mike says, well, let them pay taxes to Wednesday. Right. You know, I don't know if they have to pay taxes. That's probably going to come up the rear eventually. Well, since you guys are, there's no separation of church and state, let us see those books. Right. Not you calling Prisker Jabba the Hutt, James. You crazy. Tahada says that Tesla truck looks like origami. Yeah, it does look weird, huh? But did you see that video? I think he had a Tesla truck and riding up in the congregation. And wow. I would have been so upset to see that. I'd have been mad. Like, this what you doing with our money? But yeah, you know, and the whole congregation catching a damn bus. Yes, I nego. Sometimes, yeah, I'll say sometimes. Church is a circus. I haven't been in a minute, so I probably am not the right person to be speaking on it. I do just subscribe to a higher power. I pray every day, you know, listen to gospel. I do believe in God. So, you know, I don't want y'all to think I just be, you know, acting like a crotch demon or nothing, or nothing like that. African Native says the funny part is when they start shouting in tongues. Yeah, you know, I've seen it. I don't want to make fun of that or anything. I do believe that's a real experience, you know, or whatever the case is. Because you know, you're moved and things like that. I'm not in love with the institution of church. I like the idea of it, but church, you know, like I said, I'm older. Okay. I remember church when it was homely, right? When I was a kid going to church, I don't even think there were, well, there probably were mega churches, but not like you have them now. Like you heard of Fred Price, you know, in Los Angeles, or what's the other cat? I just skip my mind. It's gonna come to me. But he had a few mega churches, but not like you do now. The church was a little homely church in the neighborhood, whereas probably 100 people or so in the congregation. But then now you have these big giant monstrosities, right? These cities. There's one out here in Houston. It's a big giant church. It takes up a whole block. It's literally like a city in and of itself, you know. So yeah. Trying to think of the name of that pastor. It's right on the tip of my tongue. All of our parents, when I say our parents, my parents used to listen to him all the time. He had these great little sayings and things. He had money. He was unapologetic about getting to the money. It's going to drive me crazy. I know somebody probably said it. Greasy Gavin Newsom is crazy. Doc Boss, how you doing? Since I guess nobody looks at California. Yeah, California. Listen, I'm a Californian born and raised. So yeah, I know all about it. Like I said, I'd love to go back there. It's just, I need the prices of everything to come down a little bit, you know. First class citizen, thank you so much for that love and appreciate you. Says the game we should be playing is chess, not checkers, since we know that the Democrats, Democrats, are intentionally betraying us. I'll just vote red. There's a lot of people are doing that, you know, and there's a lot of people who be mad at you for doing that too. You're a black. You're not supposed to do that. Cynthia says, you best believe next year around midterms, the Democrats will be using our pain and suffering for votes while making false promises again. They are so pathetic. Yeah, same old, like clockwork. Hey, big heads. It's us, the Democrats. How y'all doing? You good? Oh, okay. Well, we need you to show up to the polls, right? You like Megan? Like Cardi? You like fish or chicken? I don't know why I'm so silly. It's crazy. Randy says the dogma of the church. Yes. I could be here forever talking about the dogma of the church. You know, I like church, the idea of it. I just don't like what it's become. You know, it's just, I just rather not. Yeah, it's something else completely today. There's a lot of nastiness in the church. egos and, it's about me type thing. A lot of churches you go to is like, are they talking about Jesus here? Or are they talking about everybody else? Sister so-and-so, who she sleeping with and who he sleeping with, the pastor, and this, that, the other, and that, we don't like her because she thinks she cute. Now, because that's, what I've kind of known church to be the last couple of times I was there. One church I went to when I was lived here once before, I ain't gonna say the name of the church because some people might go there. I'm sitting in the congregation, nice church, things like that. And then the choir starts singing Beyonce, Love on Top. Then they start singing some other song, but they put Jesus in the song and stuff. I was like, I don't know. I got be want to shake a shoulder or something. When I'm listening to the choir sing Love on Top, and put Jesus in there. And I'm like, I don't think you should be doing that. So I kind of was like, yeah, I'm not gonna go there. I want to be here for church, not Beyonce-esque music. Let's see. Facts Not Feelings. How you doing? Says peace and love, fam. I would rather Trump win a third term than Newsom because of the scam he pulled with the reparations. Yeah, I don't think I want Trump to be in a third term. I'm not saying I want Gavin either. Anybody but them two. Trump, is he gonna be here with us? You think he'll make it a third term? I mean, his ankles are saying something different. He kind of loopy, right? He just be saying different things, and y'all saw him fall asleep. Like he fell asleep at his desk at a press conference he called. He fell asleep. Not, he was. He was like for moments. Okay. So I don't know. You think he'll be here third term? I'm just asking. Mr. Thomas says, Reverend Al Sharpton. What about him? Oh, no. Not him. Reverend Ike. Reverend Ike. See, that's that old age. Reverend Ike. Yes, one who cares. And did I say hi to you? No, Reverend Ike. Regina, 48 TCO. How you doing? Yes. Reverend Ike. I like Reverend Ike because Reverend Ike was like, listen, I'm getting to the money. I don't care what you say. It's about the shmoney, honey. Okay. I'm not going to be pretending like I'm broke. But see, at least he was trying to help everybody else get the money. Like I said, I remember my parents, it was all about Reverend Ike. He's about prosperity and stuff. I'm all right with that, whatever. But because he was honest. He was like, man, forget all that other stuff. He said, what did he say? He says the people say the love of money is the root of all evil. He was like, bump that. The lack of money is the root of all evil. He says, because have you seen people that have no money in the things that they do? And when he said that, I was like, you know what? He ain't lying. So yeah. Let's see. Who else haven't I seen? Miss Sweets, I'm for real. With fish and chicken. And then we so silly. Is it fried hard? We gonna make a choice. 48 TCO says they own both subdivisions, the business center and the daycare from light to light. So you know what I'm talking about? You know what church I'm talking about? Let me see. Did you say it? No, it ain't that one. I don't know about that one, but this church is Wheeler Baptist Avenue, Wheeler Avenue. I think that's the name of it. Huge. I'm talking about you could drive in it. Huge. And then the neighborhood is in is like, these people live in these houses giving y'all that money to keep this church, this neighborhood of a church up and running. I always say the church is the nicest building in the neighborhood. Our neighborhoods, right? Be 99 churches on one block. And they all be nice, but the houses around them, like, you blow on them, they're going to fall over. Geechee Dad Buford, how you doing? Says big hats and twerking. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You listen to Beyonce, and it's like, I'm conflicted because I want to praise the Lord, but then I want to, and that's wrong. So I shouldn't even be put in that situation. It ain't my fault that I'm put in that situation. Don't sing Beyonce at church. Not that I twerk, but I'm just saying. Well, maybe sometimes. Brother James says, Demetri, one day when Boule Martin calls himself talking about us, we need to crowd his platform and embarrass him and let's see him run then. I ain't thinking about rolling because he ain't going to run. Unless you have some grandma cookies or something. Come on, type thing. But we ain't thinking about rolling. Hey, Shan, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Ooh, I done ran over time. Yes, Miss Sweets. Reverend Ike, how to attract money and prosperity. That's what I'm talking about. See, I can listen to that kind of stuff. Yes, Geechee Danny says, you are God and we are. Doesn't the Bible say we are made in his image? We're made in God's image. I don't think that means that we look like God because we don't even know what he looks like, right? So we are God-like. We're God's. I know somebody was like, wow, that's blasphemy. Mr. Ernest, how you doing? Hope you're doing well today. 48 TCO says, oh, dang, I thought that was a bit much and they help members, mostly not outsiders. Yeah, I don't have a problem with churches helping members, but the work really should be on the outside. So that's kind of one of the other reasons why I don't really go to church in the building, because the work is on the outside. The people that are going to church, they trying to get it together, but you need to be on the outside really trying to improve, because aren't you supposed to go out there and spread the gospel and tell people about the goodness of the Lord and this, that, the other? But yeah, if I come to your church as an outsider, you talking about I don't think so. Can't help you. Well, I was told to come here. I thought the church helped people. I don't know who told you that. RC, how you doing? It says cover plastic. What's that mean? And I'm not trying to talk bad about nobody's church. Lord knows I'm not. Wilbur, how are you and where have you been? Wherever you've been, I hope that you've been well. African Native says those hallelujah churches are gigantic. Man, I'm telling you, this church, I was like, man, did I, come to the city of Oz? What's really going on? Yeah, Reverend Ike videos are on YouTube. If you check them out, you will not be disappointed. That man was dynamic. Okay. Like I said, I liked him. He had his hair look coiffed all with the pompadour and stuff, right? He had his stuff together. He probably smelled good too. Probably like Aramis. That's my dad's perfume. Aramis, a hot karate or something. So he just looked like he just right. But when he spoke, because he's gone now, right? It was just, he's mesmerizing. He believed that everybody should get a piece of the pie. Don't believe that, oh, you got to be poor, just wait and die and go to heaven. He was like, basically, nobody's gone to heaven to know if there's streets of gold. Wouldn't you want to get the gold here? All right, listen up. So I could do stuff like that. Yes, I can. Negroes said, Demetri, did you speak about Pharrell yet? Already? I spoke about it the other day. I mean, I see people are mad, but I just need Pharrell to be, and I'm happy. That's all I need him to do. I don't care about what he feels about politics or none of that stuff. I don't look to Pharrell for politics, but he had an opinion, right? He's like, I don't really get involved in either. He basically said, let's get to the money, and then people, So I don't know. What? Yeah, I don't want to get accused of blasphemy. Lord knows I'm not trying to go through that. Yeah, I remember that, Brother James. Let's see. Regina 48 TCO says that's why Tina stayed getting knocked in between the dryers. I ain't talking about that, Reverend Ike. Not Ike Turner. His name was Ike something. It was something really exquisite, but it was Ike for short. The Reverend Ike from the 60s and the 70s, the prosperity preacher. Look him up. You'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, not that Ike. I hope Ike wasn't knocking nobody between the dryers and the washers down. RC says she was texting Epstein during congressional hearing. Oh, you're talking about that one. I know you're talking about hearing. She helped him get tax breaks for the island, Virgin Island, as CBC members. She speaks against lineage-based politics all the time. Yes, Brother Phil was actually telling us about that yesterday. I haven't looked into it, but yeah, it's very interesting. What you texted him for? Now, mind you, this is after they knew he had gotten in trouble for messing with kids before. So it's like y'all knew that, and y'all still hung out with him. So anyway, let me get out of here before I get way off the chain. I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I will be on the African Diaspora News Channel tomorrow at 11 a.m. So please come join me for a great conversation. I have an idea what we're going to talk about, but I may change my mind as I sometimes do. And thank you once again, First Class Citizen. Love and appreciate you for that. It says these mega churches are having a tower rather of a Babel contest. They're constantly trying to outdo one another to attract the most parishioners. Yeah, I mean, you know what though, I'll say this, and I'll say this for me. When I woke up, I decided that I cannot do church the way it's done now. Like I said, I do believe in a higher power and all that, but I decided I couldn't do church anymore. I listened to and read a great book called Outwitting the Devil. You can listen to the audiobook on YouTube. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill is one of the best books I've ever read in my whole life. Outwitting the Devil, where he has a conversation. Again, they don't know if it was fictional conversation or if it was real, right? This book was written in 1937 by Napoleon Hill. And the devil said to him, y'all should listen to it or read it. I'm telling you to change your life. He says, I won't tell you how he ended up in this conversation, but he says, because Napoleon was asking him questions, he says, listen, the devil says, listen, I'll tell you everything you want to know. But you got to agree that from this point on, while we're having this conversation, you must refer to me as master. Napoleon was like, I won't do that. You're not my master. He says, well, then basically, and I'm paraphrasing, stop talking to me then. He says, because at the end of the day, I am the master over this world. And if you just come to this agreement, then I'll tell you why I'm the master of this world. So Napoleon agreed. Again, this book was written in 1937. And the things that he said to the devil, whether it was metaphoric or if it was real, nobody really knows. The things that the devil said to him, you see all the stuff unfolding. Like, now I'm not talking about, oh, well, you can find that in the Bible type thing. I'm talking about to the T. Some of the things that he's talking about in regards to the children, the church, school, all this stuff, right? Now, the book wasn't released until I think the early 2000s, somewhere around there, by his wife after he had passed away and things like that. Because again, the devil told him, don't do it. Said, if you release this book, they're going to think you're crazy. In fact, they'll lock you up. Because they'll be like, there's no way this man is insane. Now, if you know anything about Napoleon Hill, motivational speaking and all that, a lot of the secret, the laws of the universe, things like that have come from him. He's considered one of the forefathers of the secret laws of the universe type stuff, positive thinking. So the devil said they'll lock you up. They'll for sure think you're crazy. Your whole name, your lineage, everything will be ruined. If you, after you write this book and I tell you everything, don't do it. Wait till you're dead. And that's what he did. His family did. So some of y'all may have heard of the book, Outwitting the Devil. It will change your life. And after I read it a few times and I listened to it on YouTube a few times, there's just no way I could continue life the way I had been continuing life. It, I'd say in a sense, blew my mind. So y'all should check it out or not. Thank you, African Native. Love and appreciate you for that. Every little bit helps. And thank you for everybody who's donated, like, subscribe, and all of that. But yeah, if y'all check this book out, I'm telling you, you will not be the same. Outwitting the Devil. You can listen to it for free. First Class Citizens, what happens to the meaning of vanity being a sin? So I guess vanity is a sin, but to me, that's all open to interpretation as well. Am I not? Like, vanity is all you do, right? Is focus on, I look good, damn it, I look good. Oh my gosh, I look good. Oh, it's about me. Do you see how good I look today, right? And I guess you can kind of have a sense of that mentally. But I think a little dose of vanity is okay. Because you don't want to go around talking about, oh, I'm so ugly today. Right? You want to say and look in the mirror, I'm beautiful, right? I am, because I am are two of the most powerful words in the universe. I am. Which you attach to that, you become that, right? So if I say I'm beautiful, I'm the best at whatever it is I do, this, that, and the other, then you start believing it, right? Speak things that are not as though they were. See, I told you I go to church. I've gone to church. Speak things that are not as though they were. So even though you're not right now, when you say I am, You start believing, and then eventually you start walking in those things, and you start moving toward attaining the things or becoming the things that you say that you are. You might have two pennies to your name, but if you keep saying I am wealthy, you start believing, and then you start moving toward becoming wealthy, right? You become unstoppable, because we are stoppable here. Not necessarily physically, but we are unstoppable here. So when you start opening up your mind and saying, I am capable, I can do great things, then you start believing it, and then you start walking in it. So yeah, I don't have a problem with vanity, especially vanity 6, RIP. But yeah, when it's all you're focused on, yeah, that's probably not good. So anyway, I shall, Miss Sweets. I love y'all. I will see y'all definitely tomorrow on the African Diaspora News Channel, and then on Sunday with Mr. Donovan Sadiq. So in the meantime, y'all have a great rest of your day. Peace.